Happy lunch hour for a nice, sunny, but chilly Saturday here for me. Mrs. P and I have already been quite busy today. Been to the grocery store at 7:30 in the morning. Already hung up our allotment of boards for the day and the never-ending hanging boards in the garage project. So we've got all that done. Finally got electricity in the garage today. I'm excited. Been doing all this on one of my solar generators, guys. This is how I've been powering power tools and air compressors and stuff like that. So yeah, there's more use for them than just grid down scenario. Use them when you can. It's nice to have portable power. And not only that, but of course they are powering the lights and the heater in my homemade greenhouse. But that's not what I'm talking about. We went to the grocery store this morning. Now, I'll give you this. I'll give you a couple of stories. You know how all we hear day in and day out is Americans are obese? What are they saying? 60% of Americans are overweight, and by 2030, they're expecting 80% of us to be obese. There's probably a really good reason why. Because the crap food is the only thing that people can afford. I want to give you this. This will tell you how important it is to grow a garden, all right? And that's not the whole point of it, but I'm just making a point here. Obviously, it's a little early in the year to be growing anything, and so Mrs. P wanted cucumbers. To buy one English cucumber today, $2 for a freaking cucumber, okay? Cucumber's what? 90% water, right? So what is somebody going to say? Well, fertilizer prices are up and labor prices are up and yada, yada, yada. Sure. So then explain this to me. After we finished at the grocery store, because it was crack of dawn early this morning when we left the house, we decided to stop at McDonald's. Yes, I know, don't sue me. For breakfast, all right? $15 for the two of us to eat breakfast. I'm a big guy. I have a big appetite, all right? This is how funny it is. We had 6 items that we bought. The woman at the cash register looked in the bag, said 6, right? I said, yep. She gave me the bag and said, thank you. I know better at this particular McDonald's because they can't count. I opened up the bag. There were 4. She said to me 6, looked in the bag, confirmed there were 6, gave it to me, and there were 4. This is the same McDonald's I've told you that I went to 3 other times in a row, and the cashier did not know how to make change. The bill was like, $12.10 or something like that, and so I gave her 20 and a quarter, and she didn't know how to make change for it. Okay, silly stuff like this. But McDonald's food is cheap, and a cucumber costs $2. Mind you, some of the other things I saw, a 12-pack of soda, Coke, $7.50, right, for 12 cans of soda. A pound of bologna, okay, that is Bar S or whatever it was $5, $4.99 for bologna, okay. Let alone, you're paying $6.50, $7 for turkey breast or ham or something like that, $5 for bologna. And they wonder why the public is obese. It's because the healthy food, the stuff that's good for you, the stuff that actually has nutritional value and not a bunch of chemicals in it, is too expensive for people to buy. I mean, tomatoes today, $3.99 a pound. How many tomatoes do you guys get off of one plant? I mean, I know last year we had 10 of each type of plant, 10 of each kind of tomato plant. I'd go out and it was nothing to pick 20 pounds of tomatoes off of the plants. Go out in a couple of days and I could pick another 20 pounds of tomatoes. It's $80 a piece the time I'm picking those. Remember that big tomato I showed you last year that a lot of you guys wanted the seeds for? This is Carney Podovchuks. Okay, that was a 2-pound tomato. Have you ever thought you'd pay $8 for a tomato? You would for that one, okay? For one freaking tomato. This is why people are going absolutely nuts. And this is why it is so important to grow your own whatever you can, okay, and hunt for sales. And I know a lot of you guys do. And hunting for sales, I think we all do. But I mean, to grow your own, I'll still bet that there's probably only a third of the people on the channel here actually grow any of their own food. And they really need, I don't care if you live in an apartment and all you can plant is 2 tomato plants on your balcony. You need to plant those 2 tomato plants, because the money that you save from not buying tomatoes at the grocery store can be used for some of your other preps. I mean, imagine if you buy a pound of tomatoes a week for your household at $4 a piece. In a month, you've saved $16. Do the math. In a year, you've saved $180. What can you do with $180 besides buying tomatoes? All right. This is the problem. You know, if you look at it, I'll give you this. Minimum wage, federal minimum wage is $7.25. Okay. The highest minimum wage in the country is Washington, D.C. at $16.10. California is at $15.50, and then you've got other ones like Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York that are all 15. At least New York City, $15 or 15 and change, somewhere thereabouts. Notice what all those states have in common, and I mean besides the fact that they are all solid blue. Okay. They have ridiculously high costs of living, and they have ridiculously high taxes, okay? And I don't know a whole lot of people are going, hey, I want to move to Washington, D.C. because the quality of life is so wonderful. Yeah, if you like to get shot at, okay, no problem, okay? Or New York City, or, you know, if you want to step over piles of shit in San Francisco, go for it, you know? I lived in the Boston area. There are some very nice places in Boston, okay? Anybody want to go to Southie? You don't want to be around there, okay? But so this is what it is. So it's $15 an hour. So let's just use that $15 an hour. I want you to think about this. On $15 an hour, that means you gross $400 a week, all right? After taxes, whatever's taken out, all right? Again, they're going to get tax refunds, but things like Medicare and Social Security, you don't get away from. They're probably netting somewhere around, it's $600 a week. They're probably netting a little bit better than $525, something like that. But like I said, most expensive places of cost of living. Now, I remember living up in a shithole apartment in Newmarket, New Hampshire, 10 years ago, and I was paying $600. I remember my first apartment in Utah before I met Mrs. P, okay, which was not exactly a nice apartment, but that was Utah. Utah's not expensive. We looked up the price of that apartment a couple of days ago. I was paying $650 a month when I lived there in 2013. It's $1,200 a month now for a 1-bedroom, small apartment, a little more than 500 square feet. Not a good spot to be. For those of you in Salt Lake City, I lived in Taylorsville. You know what that means, okay? How are you going to make ends meet? $1,200 a month. Now let's figure this. If you're netting $550, let's go on the top side there, $550 a week. That means you're bringing home $2,200 a month, and your rent for a 1-bedroom apartment is $1,200. That means you are paying more than 50% of your income for your rent for a shithole apartment. How much can you spend on food, right? Now, at $2 a cucumber, at $4 for a pound of tomatoes, whatever it would be, what are you eating? You're eating dollar store food. You're eating off the dollar menu at McDonald's. You're certainly not eating quality. You know, I doubt many people are going out, unless they're on food stamps, okay, going out and buying a good cut of beef, you know, buying a steak once a month even, all right? They're doing whatever they can with the 7327 ground beef, and they're doing whatever they can with the chicken thighs, kind of like the rest of us are, except they're only allowed to eat meat maybe once or twice a week because that's all they can afford. But so they'd go to vegetables, right? Well, no, because they can't afford the vegetables either. So what are they eating now? Rice and beans? Does that sound familiar? This is the thing, guys. The food that is affordable for people right now is the not the highest quality food. Now to give you this Silicon Valley Bank deal that, oh, it's not a bailout. The taxpayers aren't going to pay anything for it. It's true. They're not going to raise our taxes to pay for it. What'd they come out yesterday and say? They're going to print $2 trillion to pay off all these people. Okay, not 250,000, not what FDIC, whatever. Pete Thiel had $50 million in that bank. Sharon Stone got up the other day and was complaining that she lost half her money because she had it in Silicon Valley Bank. Prince Harry had a bunch of his money. Oprah had a bunch of their money. Hillary had money in there, okay? They found that these were a bunch of Hillary backers, Obama backers, stuff like that, that had people that donated money to those candidates, right? They're going to get all their money back. I'm thinking Pete Thiel or Sharon Stone can afford better than beans and rice, but let's make them whole. Are they going to make you whole if something happens to your bank? No. Janet Yellen came out and said specifically yesterday, specifically in a congressional hearing where she was asked, she said that the Federal Reserve and the Treasury will pick and choose which banks are going to make people whole and which banks won't. In other words, if you write checks to the Democrats, we'll make you whole. If you don't, we'll let you go broke. I mean, and she got called to the carpet by a couple of different congressmen and senators. This is the thing, guys. We're on our freaking own to eat. There's plenty of people here, like I said, from all ranges of the spectrum on the income scale. From, those of you that are making minimum wage or collecting food stamps to, I know there's people on this channel that definitely make six-figure salaries, okay? This is the thing. We are all in this together. Preppers, this family. They're not going to help us. The only possible thing we can do is help each other. A lot of us have the ability to grow food. Some of us don't. But I've suggested many times getting on freesteading and, meeting people in your local area, stuff like that. Maybe somehow we can share a little bit that we have with somebody that's local. I mean, I'm not mailing somebody 10 pounds of tomatoes. I'm sorry, that's just not happening. Okay. But if there was somebody local that needed some tomatoes, yeah, I'd help them out. No problem. Because they're one of us and nobody else is going to take care of them. They're going to get screwed. I'm going to get screwed. You're going to get screwed. We need to stay healthy. In order to survive whatever is coming next, because it gets worse every freaking day, you guys know this, we need to be taking care of our bodies by eating quality food, nutritious food, and not junk food. But the powers that be are making it so only the junk food is available to us peons, while the rest of them eat the good stuff. They'll try their damnedest to stop us from eating good food, whether it's dumping trains, polluting farmland, chemtrails, whatever it would be. Yeah, they'll do it. But we can do whatever we can on an individual basis or by working together to help each other stay strong, stay physically ready, because there's going to be a day when all these people in Washington find out what's really coming to them. They think they've got it made. All these elites, these politicians, these Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos of the world who think they've got more money than God, there's going to be a day when that money is going to be freaking worthless. It's going to be really funny when it comes to CBDC. And you have half to 2/3 of the country that says, I'm not taking it. Jeff Bezos is going to say, well, if you want to buy something from Amazon, you have no choice but to buy it with cryptocurrency of whatever sort, Fed coin or whatever. And people go, okay, then I won't buy anything from Amazon. Real easy. Okay, that's what's going to happen. We need to start working together now to help each other, because now we can do it on a more casual basis until we have to do it when it's a necessity for us to stay alive. When you're planting your seeds, when you're starting seeds, I've got a whole bunch of more in front of me here that just went in the dirt yesterday. Think about that. I said before, maybe plant some extra peppers or tomato plants or whatever that you could sell at the bottom of your driveway or whatever, or give to other people, whatever that you've got extras. What they do with it is up to them. But, you did what you could do to help. When they come up and say, I'm hungry, and you go, what happened to those 2 tomato plants I gave you? Well, they died. Why'd they die? Well, I didn't water them. That's their problem, not yours. Pinball out.